What's up, guys? I'm Mike from Stocked Up, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a great episode for you guys here today. There was some important news that came out over the weekend. So in this video, we're going to cover everything that happened over the weekend for the market. We're going to share what plays we're watching for the market for this week, and we're going to go over pretty much all of your questions from the previous episode. So if you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe to see our daily videos on your YouTube homepage every single day. Other than that, let's get right into it, Tom. So what news happened over the weekend?
Yeah, there was actually a really interesting article that came out by CNBC that shows year-over-year online sales growth by retailers, and it's crazy to see. I mean, you can really see that Best Buy is up 242% from last year. Target's up 195%. Dick's is up 194%, and nobody make fun of me about that one, by the way. And then we go down to Lowe's. They're up 135%, and then at the bottom, we have Nordstrom, who I believe actually just filed for bankruptcy a little while ago. They're actually negative 5%, which is, that's obvious. If you're not getting online growth in the modern era, there's just no way you can, stay afloat as a business. But really, the analysts at CNBC, they don't see the online sales staying this high. But I mean, I personally think that the online sales could easily stay this high. I mean, maybe not this high, but at least a lot higher than pre-pandemic levels. I think a lot of people are really going to change to online sales and really start ordering a lot of stuff online from now on rather than, go to the store and get stuff. And with a lot of stores not being available anymore, I mean, that's just really hurting, retail growth, at least in-store growth, very largely as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look at ticker symbol BBY. That's Best Buy. And I remember people were saying like a couple years ago how Best Buy was struggling with online sales. But if you look at just like a long-term chart on them, they're doing really well. I mean, they're at all-time highs right now, and they just had a great rebound from the lows back in March. They went from about $50, and they're sitting around $111 right now. And I think that online sales growth is probably one of the biggest factors into this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, whenever you see that online sales growth like that, and you see them posting good earnings, like they had good earnings and popped on earnings, and then obviously fell, for the few days after earnings. But their earnings were pretty good, especially for the pandemic. $1.71 per share, which was higher than the first quarter, I believe. And that's just great to see that they're just growing with the pandemic. They're even doing better than they were pre-pandemic, and that's just awesome to see. And that's definitely why they're up so high. But I mean, there's just a ton of other companies that are up this much, and I mean, really, the online sales has been fueling the market. And I mean, especially tech stocks. I mean, a lot of tech stuff is sold online as well, like a lot of AMD products, NVIDIA products. That's all fueled by online sales. Like anybody into computers knows you have to pretty much buy the stuff online. There's very few stores you can actually go to and get a lot of this new technology.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's overall a great sign for the retail industry. I know a lot of people are just a little weary on the future of some of these companies like Tiffany, like Best Buy, like Target. Like they were worried, like if they cannot adapt to the online marketplace, that can definitely be a threat to their business. But they're clearly proving that they can definitely compete online. Even Lowe's up 135% year over year. I mean, I think that's great.
Yeah, and they've been even having a lot of good like in-store growth as well as Home Depot. I mean, those two stocks have been doing really great, especially Home Depot. I mean, a lot of people have said that this has to do with the housing market also doing well because, there's a lot of new home buyers and they're all, flocking into Lowe's and Home Depot to buy more stuff for them.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the Lowe's chart right now. LOW, they were at $60 back in March. Right now, they're at $165. So overall, great growth. What other news happened?
Yeah, there was really some crazy news about Bloomberg. They're actually reporting that ByteDance, which are the owners of TikTok, will be required to seek Chinese government approval to sell the U.S. operations of TikTok, which is really crazy. Beijing apparently put in new restrictions that are going to impose on the export of artificial intelligence technologies, according to a person familiar with the matter. And keep in mind, Bloomberg is reporting this, so that's why I'm giving it to you guys. But that's really a crazy wrench thrown into this deal with TikTok. I mean, apparently, China does not want TikTok sold, at least their U.S. operations. They don't want anything to go to the U.S., obviously.
Right. I mean, this whole deal with TikTok is pretty interesting overall. I mean, we initially started with Trump saying, you know what, TikTok, we want you banned, right? And then he said, you know what, well, if you're sold to a U.S. company, then you can stay, right? And then they're getting closer to a deal. TikTok's getting closer to a deal with Oracle and Microsoft. And now all of a sudden, the Chinese government steps in and says, whoa, 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 you're not just going to sell it, without our approval. So I think this is just going to just kind of stir up the whole sales process for TikTok. And I think it's just going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. But the main stocks to watch off of this is Microsoft and Oracle, right?
Yeah, those two are the biggest ones. There were some rumors going around, like with Walmart, getting into that as well. And Walmart popped, over the past few days on that news, I believe. But I mean, other than them three, there's really been, not too much news. These were the three big bidders on this. But really, I think that with this, with them passing this and saying that you cannot export artificial intelligence technologies, and apparently TikTok uses some of those. So it looks like that, apparently that like TikTok's not just, there's just going to be no deal happening with them anymore. I mean, I know that a lot of people don't want to see that, but it looks like TikTok might just end up getting banned.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. But either way, the top stocks to watch off of that news is Oracle, which is ORCL, and then Microsoft, MSFT. So we'll definitely have our eyes on those for this week. So now for our Discord member of the day, and it is Kreger. So thank you so much, Kregers, for being a great member of the Stocked Up Discord group, always sharing positive information and great vibes. So thank you so much for spreading positivity in the Stocked Up Discord community. So huge shout out to you. So now for our momentum plays for tomorrow, and the first one is PLAY. So Dave & Buster's, overall they had a great day on Friday, up over 16%. Closing near their highs, had great volume. Tom, what levels should we be watching?
Just watch for 1760 to the upside.
So if it breaks that, we would consider getting calls or just buying the stock for a little day trade. With the next stock, we have WDC, which is Western Digital, up a little over 7%. What levels should we be watching?
Watch for them to pop above $38 even. They might have some pre-market movement in there.
Yeah, for sure. So again, up to the upside. And then last but not least, we have DKNG, which is DraftKings. But this one is to the downside, and it was down a little over 7% on Friday.
Yeah, this looks awesome. Like they almost double bottom down here at 36.17. So if it breaks 36.17, I could definitely see DraftKings going down.
For sure. And now for the unusual options activity for tomorrow, and we are looking at the Roku 180 strike call options that expire this week, September 4th. So overall, there was about $12.8 million put into this option on Friday. Overall Roku was up pretty big on Friday, broke all-time highs. Had some good relative volume. I can definitely see this play continuing upwards. But like most of these stocks in the tech sector, they're pretty high right now. So no one can call the top or the bottom. But overall, Roku does have a lot of upwards momentum. But I feel like we really just have to judge this one out come Monday morning. I don't just think I don't love Roku to the upside, but I can definitely see it continuing up.
Yeah, I mean, there's actually some great technicals on it. I just drew them while you were talking, and they're in a pretty nice wedge formation. And really, if you see them, holding let's just say $172, which was where they bounced about 3 times on Friday, I think that, this stock could definitely go up. It just seems like one of those great plays, and they even played well off of technicals the other day as well. So on Friday, that just popped right through that technical, and you could see that there actually was a little bit of consolidation there as they were popping, which shows you that technical was good. And hopefully that this wedge pattern up here plays out well. But I really hope that these guys are calling this to the upside. I really do.
Yeah, we'll have to play it by ear, but like we said, just watch for the levels Tom listed. So now for the comments from the previous episode. With the first comment, we have Billy saying, great video, big fan here. Question, to close a credit spread on Robinhood, I would buy it back as a debit for the remainder of the contract. And that's his question. Thanks. So yes, you are correct. So let's say you have a credit spread on Robinhood. Let's say for, I don't know, an easy example, let's say you sold the SPY 360 strike call option and you bought the 365 strike call option, right, as a credit. Let's say you sold this, you got a credit of, let's say, like 50 cents, which equals $50, just for simple math. And then let's say come closer to that expiration date, let's say it drops down to, let's say, $10 or 10 cents, you could say. To just close that, you are just going to you're going to buy the option you shorted, and then you're going to sell the option you bought. So whatever option you sold, you're going to buy that back, and whatever option you bought, you're going to sell that. So at the end of the day, it does become a debit spread. When you go to close it on Robinhood, you're just going to select debit. So great question. I'm sure a lot of others have that same question. With the next comment, we have Penn saying, what happens if I let a contract expire in the money? Do I lose all of it, or what happens to the contract? So a lot of it depends on what brokerage you are using on Robinhood. And really, yeah, mainly what happens is if you have enough money to actually exercise that contract, and what's going to happen is you are just going to get the share. So let's say, for easy math, let's say you had a SPY 345 strike call option, right? And it expires in the money like it would have on Friday. The SPY was at $350. That option would have been worth about $558. And I know this because you take the current price, which is $350.58, subtract the strike price, which is $345. You're left with $5.58. Both options. One option represents 100 shares. So 558 times 100 is 558. The option is worth 558. So if you bought the option for less than that, you can just sell the option and profit like that. However, if it's in the money and you just let it expire, if you have enough money, then what's going to happen is you are going to be forced to buy, or you're not forced, but you're going to buy 100 contracts at $345 each. So at the end of the day, you're making the same amount of money. You're just doing it in a different way. You can either just sell it for a nice little, like a flip on the options contract, or you can just get the same type of profit just in the form of shares. So you would just have 100 shares at $345 each. The stock price is still at $350.58. So you still made the same amount of money. But great question. With the next comment, we have Andrew saying, thoughts on Beyond. So I'll let you take that one, Tom.
Yeah, Beyond, I mean, I really like it in the short term. It looks like it's in a very nice setup. It's actually bouncing right off of a support that I have set at $130. And it had such a big rise on Thursday that I kind of feel like that it kind of had to come down, in the middle of the day on Thursday, and on Friday it kind of consolidated. And, you see that a lot whenever these stocks start to pop, that they pop up really largely and then they'll consolidate, and then they might continue back on that trend. So really, I think that if Beyond can hold this level of $130, I think that they're definitely bullish, and it's just one of those stocks that it's a pretty safe play to play it back up at least to $138.50 if you see momentum whenever the market opens Monday.
For sure. And then just for everyone who doesn't know, Beyond is ticker symbol BYND. All right. With the next comment, we have Appa saying, hi. What are your expectations on Netflix moving forward? I'm stuck at $561. So that's not good, because Netflix right now is at $523. What do you think of Netflix?
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty steep place to get stuck at. He bought right at the top. That's pretty tough. I mean, I do want to say that Netflix will come back and, will eventually go to that level, but it's just another one of those stocks that it's up so much right now that you have to think that it would come back down eventually, but it's still holding levels and it's staying pretty high right now. They had another one of those big rises with a couple days of consolidation. So I think this one might be able to come back this week, but I mean, if it does end up falling below like 520, I could see it going down as well. It's just one of those stocks. It's up so high that it's going to go big one way or the other, but I could easily see it retesting highs.
For sure. And then keep in mind, like, the tech sector is exploding. So just look at the QQQ. I mean, Netflix is a tech stock, and pretty much all tech stocks are running right now. So Netflix definitely does have that going for it. I mean, I wouldn't say Netflix is just going to fall, but I don't love them to the upside right now, but they had such a huge day to the upside on Wednesday. I mean, they absolutely exploded. So I don't know. I'm just pretty neutral on Netflix overall. I mean, I like them for the long term. I don't love them. but overall the tech sector is really benefiting from the pandemic, and Netflix definitely did too. So I think the odds are in your favor, and I'm pretty sure that Netflix will eventually come back to your entry price. But you can always just sell puts or like sell covered calls to kind of hedge your position. With the next comment, we have 1738 saying, "Can I get your guys' thoughts on Intel? Thanks for all the help." So, what do you think of Intel, Tom?
Yeah, I'm actually holding Intel shares right now, and it's just been great. I really like the trend line on Intel. They played very well on Friday, and I think that they have a lot of momentum to definitely be able to pop on Monday as well. I mean, if they break that high of 50.80, I'd love them even more. But as long as they hold this trend line for me, I really like it. It's just another one of those tech stocks that, I mean, they had a bad, couple months actually. Like they dropped down on bad earnings, and then they lost an Apple contract. But it's just one of those stocks that it's just one of those tech stocks that it's just bound to go back up. It's a big they're a chip maker. They make a lot of processors, and they actually had some good news come out where they're going to be releasing some new processors that they had been delaying. So that's great to hear from Intel, and I think that they could easily fill this gap in the long term at least, but in the short term, I do like them as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm the same with Tom right now. I definitely see a lot of upside potential for Intel. They had a pretty good day on Friday too, and they actually had some good news last week with them collaborating with Argonne National Laboratory. So that's always good news too. But I can definitely see them rising back up. They were consolidating for a couple weeks, but I think there's definitely a lot of upside potential with Intel. So yeah, with that being said, Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market for this week?
Yeah, I just wanted to address this before we got 1,000 questions here. Apple and Tesla actually already split on the chart. So Apple's trading at 125.50 on my chart right now. And if we go back to a 5-year chart, we can see that, Apple looks like it used to be $40 a share at the beginning of 2019, which is, untrue because of the split, obviously. But Apple and Tesla both are showing up on the chart that they split like they should, for Monday morning. But it's just awesome to see this on the chart. And I just wanted to address it before, we got 1,000 questions. But the stock that I like for this week is going to be AMD. I think that this stock is in a great daily setup. You can see it's in a great wedge formation right now, and it's having trouble actually breaking 87.72. But on Friday, we had a nice green candle. And I think that as long as we have good momentum up in the tech sector overall, I think that AMD could easily break this. And AMD has some pretty I think their options got a lot more expensive than they used to be, but their options are very liquid. And there's a ton of people playing AMD options all the time. It's just one of those options that can move very quickly one way or the other. So if it does go up, you could easily get in for a quick day trade if it does pop. And a lot of times whenever AMD pops, they pop, like 3% or higher.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you guys so much for watching this video to the end. Tom and I are so grateful for all you guys. Thank you so much for hitting that like button, commenting down below, and of course, subscribing to the channel. We just crossed 25,000 subscribers last week. So thank you guys so much for that. Thank you guys so much for everyone who's been hitting that like button, commenting down below, and subscribing. It really helps us. Even if you leave a little comment down below, it really helps grow the channel. So thank you guys so much for that. If you guys want to trade the same options that Tom and I trade every single day, you can click the Stocked Up Options Alerts link in the description down below. And as always, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. Other than that, thanks for watching.